Hello, everybody. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I've got to tell you that this is going to be a gorgeous weekend up here in the Pacific Northwest. It is sunny. There's a little light breeze. It should be in the 60s. Sometime in the weekend, it might even hit 70. So this is unusual for us, and it's very nice. This Memorial Day weekend is a really big weekend here. We have a parade on Saturday. It used to be called the Ski to Sea Parade. No, yeah, Ski to Sea. And it has now just a Memorial Day Parade. They changed the name just recently. But on Sunday, we have the Ski to Sea Race. And that starts up on Mount Baker. There's skiing, road bikes, running, mountain bikes, canoeing. Hi, Hillary. And not canoeing, kayaking. So that ends with the kayaking. Hi, Gladys. So we started the mountain, end with kayaking in Bellingham Bay. So it is quite exciting and it's fun, and often it's rainy and cool, but this year it's going to be sunny and nice. So hope it's not too hot for the runners. They start pretty early in the morning though, up on the mountain. Mount Baker is a beautiful mountain. It is gorgeous, and I must say I love looking at it. On my page, you probably see a picture every once in a while when I just can't resist pulling over and taking one. It's nice when the mountain is out, which is what we say in the Pacific Northwest when we can actually see our mountains because, all the clouds and the rain. It's not out every day. It's not even out close to every day. Which is just, oh well. That's why everything is green and lush. I've mowed this week. Got my 2 acres mowed. So that was fun. And actually, it was kind of fun. It was lovely. There was sunshine. It wasn't hot. And I just rode around in circles and listened to my book on tape and got all 4 areas done. The field is the biggest. Yeah, but it's also one of the easiest. So anyway, that said, I hope you're having a great week. I know that I've already had a cup of coffee, 2 cups of tea. No, I can't make that 3 cups of tea this morning. And now I'm on iced tea. And after I'm done, I'll probably have 1 more cup of coffee. Because it's nice. I like an afternoon cup of coffee. So, what did I want to tell you today? Oh, you love them when the mountains are out. Yes, Mount Baker or Mount Rainier. Do you know there's a spot in Everett by the slough or the water treatment plant where you can see on a really good day, you can see Mount Rainier in your rearview mirror and look ahead and see Mount Baker. I love that view. I found it when my kids were little. There's a thing about distance I don't quite understand, and maybe you can tell me. But it seems that driving with 2 small children from Bellingham to my family in Puyallup in Tacoma area, south of Seattle, is a much, much shorter drive than it was for them to drive from Tacoma, Puyallup, up to Bellingham. I am not quite sure why that is, since they didn't have children. Oh, and Arnold Palmer sounds good. I like that mix of lemonade and iced tea. And Kat, you've been planting. Oh, good for you. I've got my zinnias ready to go. I've got the bed still needs to be cleaned out where I'm putting them. Although I'm putting a couple in different places, and so I can get those planted very soon. My neighbor's daughter helps me with the gardening and the weeding and all of that, and she's back in the Western Washington, so she's working. She worked yesterday and today, and who knows, maybe tomorrow a little bit. Oh, cran-apple iced tea, Gladys. That sounds good. Is that one of the snarky tea flavors? I don't think I've bought that. I will say that I'm finishing up the another pot of the creamsicle iced tea. And let's say that it is luscious. I will be ordering more of that, quite a bit more. Although I've liked them all that I've tried. So, I'm going to get to planting soon. I like planting. I don't like weeding so much. It hurts my body, to be honest. I'm not as young as I used to be. I know, that's going to surprise us all. I like self-weeding. That's what I'm hoping for out there. It's going to be, the majority are going to be at the end of my field where I've got a couple of old-fashioned rose bushes And so I'll put them in there, and of course I'll water. I'll figure out how to turn the water on out there. I don't remember where that spigot is, and of course Lee can't tell me anymore, so I will just go out and I'll try to find turn-on valves and see if I can get it done. I've got lots of hoses, so that's not a problem. And let's see. I suppose we should be looking at, the one thing I wanted to tell you about is the joining special. So if you're not a demonstrator or you're not working with a demonstrator, there are a lot of advantages to joining Stampin' Up. It says, join the joy of Stampin' Up. And it really is fun. I have a good time. You don't have to do lives. It can be just a hobby. Not just a hobby. It is a great hobby. And it's fun to play with paper. And to me, it's very relaxing. So I thought that I would tell you that we have a special going on now until the last day will be May 31st. And it's $165 for the starter kit, it's $99 to purchase the starter kit, but you get $165 worth of product, not to mention the discount you get as a demonstrator, which is 20%. Once you're a demonstrator and you bought the starter kit, you've done all the paperwork, and then you're a demonstrator. So your next order will be a 20% discount. And if you move up to bronze, which is really easy to do, I did it after just a few weeks, then you get a 25% discount from then on, which is wonderful. Plus, I think you get a free paper pumpkin kit, and you'll get a box of catalogs so you can share your new passion with your friends. Let's see, Kat had, you bought a new coffee at Costco. Is it good? Interesting. A coffee pot. It's a combination of a Keurig and a carafe coffee pot. Now that's like the best of both worlds. I think I'm going to get something like that when and if my espresso machine dies. It's getting up there. It's probably 20 years old now, but it's still making coffee. It only had to take one trip to New Jersey to be cleaned out and fixed. And I don't know exactly. That's probably been 4 years ago. Probably about 4 years ago. So it is in good shape. I'm hoping it lasts another 20 years. However, if it doesn't, there are options. Okay, so that's about the joining, and I'd love to have you on my team, the Nutsy Stampers. Then I wanted to show you the preview of the card that inspired the card we're going to do. It is a scrappy strip card using the woven textures, and I really love playing with scrappy strips. I tell you, it is just plain fun. And if you've got adhesive sheets, it's easy. Or than if you're trying to do it with a tape runner or your glue. Glue is very sticky. It used to make quite a mess. So we'll be putting on. Oh, it was Cat. It tasted better than your other Keurig? Well, that's good. It's the taste that's important. Anyway, this is what we're going to make. And so instead of putting me in the corner, I'm going to work at, coming back, because I have to do it before I move over. We'll just put it right down in the corner so you can look at it. Once you get to looking at it is good. So you're going to look at it instead of me today. Not a bad switch off if you ask me. So here we are, down to the table. Here's the card in the corner. And I am going to tell you who gets card kits from last week. Gladys gets one. Susan Harwood gets one. Cindy, those are from Facebook. Susan Howard was YouTube. Cindy Walker was YouTube. Cindy Gradden and Gladys are from Facebook. Or something like that. We're not going to do the slimline format. I'm sorry. I I didn't have the one in front of me, and I didn't want to go look up the directions for a slimline. So I cheated, and we're going to use a landscape, but a regular size card. It also takes longer strips, a lot of longer strips for the slimline card. So here's our card base in Early Espresso. This will be the inside. We've got our matte layer. This is what we're going to put the scrappy strips on. Susie Cute has just climbed up my screen and is playing with my blinds in the dining room. I tell you, that cat is keeping me on my toes lately. Goodness. I've got a strip of Early Espresso for the matte layer for the sentiment and white for the sentiment. And I'll be changing. Maybe we're going to actually do it this way. Yep, we're going to do it this way. That's what I cut these for. And of course our envelope, because our envelope has to be pretty too. So let's set the envelope aside. I did one thing beforehand. I cut out my decoration. These cute little leaves. And this is like a real mix of stamp sets. Here's my adhesive sheets. I cut them up and I put them in here. We've got the die from the Thankful Garden dies. I am using this little background stamp, which I forgot to take out and mount. So let's do that now. From the Woven Textures, or the Texture Notes set. And then I like this Thinking of You that's in the Beautiful Motifs. So I pulled that out and mounted it. Let me get a block to put this on. I did a little stamp surgery on mine. It was catching this edge, so I cut that edge off. Now remember, when you do stamp surgery, your warranty for the stamps is no longer valid. So I think the word I was looking for was invalidate, but it wouldn't come to my brain. So be careful. Make sure every stamp works the way you want it to work and the way it's supposed to before you resort to stamp surgery, okay? So we've got our stamps, we've got Early Espresso ink, and we've got some scrappy strips, which we'll pull out in just a moment, because that's what we're doing first. Let me pop my silicone mat on. We're setting these out of the way. And I just cut these down. They're a little long, so I find the side that releases, and I like to pull it back. Sometimes it messes up, but we can always put a little seal on it if we need to. I actually want both sides pulled back, because what I want to do is just put my card on it. This is not cooperating with me. All right. I can't get my fingernails in there. That's my reverse tweezers. There. And I'm pulling these back. Sometimes they really stick. Sometimes they pull some of the, kind of mess up the adhesive a little bit. And I need my card entirely covered. So I'm going to pull it back a little further. Put my card on. Oh, still need a little bit more. Well, actually, because that end is kind of messed up, let's just pull it all off. And I'm going to cut that off. So I'll line this up. Well, that's not quite perfect, but it'll do. And then this is one reason my Hi, George. We are making a scrappy strip card. And I think the inspiration picture's in the bottom. We are making a regular size card instead of a slimline card. And I'm just going to cut off this adhesive because the end was messed up. And this is why I have to clean my scissors so often, because I do things like this and just make a mess. But I'd rather make a mess on the scissors and get a little alcohol out. Well, there. I really don't want little bits of adhesive anywhere. And then I'll just take another one. Oh, I cut this going the other direction, of course, which in many ways is much easier. Let's go right about here, and I'm going to cut that first. And let's put this down, and I've got a little strip, a little piece that I can kind of piece in there. This came out much better. This is actually from my new sheets of adhesive. Because as you know, I often say, boy, this would have been really a lot easier if I remembered I had adhesive sheets. I can always put a little seal on there. And here's my little bit that I'm going to cut here. It is very messy with glue. I think I'll just look through the two. I can't talk and cut at the same time, obviously. To use glue on those little half-inch strips and not get it all over your table and your fingers. Anyway, because I don't remember I have adhesive sheets, they last me a very long time. And this is the hard part. It's getting that little bit, because this doesn't have, it's just a little cut-off piece, and it doesn't have the lovely opening. And when all else fails, just grab your little take your pick tool, and I just work at it. Eventually it comes up. So, what kind of weekend weather are you having? You know I'm going to have great weather. Not too hot. There, we got it off. And we'll put this in the corner. Like that. Do a little snipping to trim. I got that one pretty close. Throw the garbage in the garbage can. That goes over there. And then we're going to take off our backing. Oh, one of the things you want to do is you really want to burnish that on. Because you want that adhesive to stick on your card back, not come off. So, there we are. That is an important step. Okay. Again, those two were from that's from my newer one. That's from my older one. and we soon get to have some fun. Looks like I lost a little bit of my adhesive right here. So let's put some seal on. The rest I think is going to be okay. And now is when the fun starts. I just dump them all out. And it depends on the size, the length, because I like to go diagonal. Not everybody goes diagonally. I like to. And then this looks like it'll be good right here. And remember that they're two-sided. Let's do the other side. What I like most about this is it looks so ugly before you trim it. This one is not long enough, but let's see if this one is. This one is. So we'll put this next to it. What's on the other side is now it's fine. I just love this part. We've got and to me it's pretty random. I don't pay a lot of attention to what I'm putting where. Actually, I'm going to use this other strip. Do I have one more long one? I do. Let's do this next to it. You can just imagine how much of a mess I would make. Okay, come on, little friend. There we are. Oh, George, 67 and partly cloudy. Sunshine here and there. Where do you live, George? Oh, rain all weekend, Cat. I'm sorry, but since it's a circuit assembly, it'll be okay. Oh, you used glue, George? Yeah, it's everywhere. I love when I remember that I own the adhesive strips. I think I'll just put that one right in there. And we need a little bit on this corner. Maybe I should use a smaller strip. Now I'm going to turn it over so you can see what I mean when it is so ugly. I just dislike the look. But once it's trimmed, it's like a miracle happens. All right. What would we like next to that one? Is this long enough? I think it is. And I think we need another dark one. Reminds me of coffee beans. I mean, I know it's woven, but it still reminds me of coffee beans. Then something a little lighter next to it. And I think when I get the kits together to give you, oh, Idaho. My sister lives in Chalice, Idaho, which I guess is not all that far from Boise. That's where her family is. That is honestly where she would like to be, but her husband likes Chalice. So we did that one. Could use another one of these. We are almost done with the front of our card. I think another light one is in order. And it seems to me like I always have this tiny little corner Let me make sure there's no adhesive on it. And so I think, let's see if I can get just a little bit. I think I got it. Oh, that's not the side I wanted. I wanted this side. Yep. Most of these pieces are 1/2 inch. This one's a little 1/4 inch one. And then we turn this ugly mess. I'm going to wait. Try to do this on this corner first. And if you've got specialty papers with some pretty silver or gold in them, this is a great card for that, to really show off your strips. And so what I was thinking, when I'm making up your kits, yeah, the glue is messy, Kat. The adhesive strips make a world of difference. Because as much as I enjoy doing it, I do not enjoy being totally sticky. Even though I could get some some of the wet wipes and baby wipes and clean myself up a little bit, it doesn't help much. This does get a little bit of adhesive on your scissors. And what I do is these longer strips. I'm obviously not coherent in today because what I'm trying to tell you is I'm not going to cut 1/2 inch strips for the kids. I love you all. I love you even enough to do that much, but I just think I'm going to cut. I've got larger envelopes, so I'm going to cut 6 by 6. Yeah, I'll probably cut a 6 by 6 piece of DSP and put in. That should give you plenty of width for the. Let me measure. Let's make sure I'm telling you what will work. Look how nice that looks. Can you believe it? See, it just makes me very excited. So you pick your own diagonal. There's no rule. So yeah, a 6 by 6 would do this long strip that I did first. Because that was under 6 inches. So just make sure I like to do my first longer piece. That sets my angle. Okay. Oh my goodness. They're not glued to my silicone mat, but there's a lot of static electricity here. It's hilarious. Okay, Susie Cute is now off my screens and my blind. I think she just wanted to see what was up there. And sitting quietly on the window looking outside. So I guess she's not coming to visit today. I am going to put this on right away, and I'm going to use my dimensionals. And if I had the black larger ones out, I would use those, since this is a dark card. But I'm not wrapping any ribbon around it. We're going to tie a bow to put on the front. George Chalice is nice. I've enjoyed visiting there. Not exactly where I want to move to. Not that I'm planning to move, but it is very nice. And the people are very nice. They took me to a kind of a chili recipe cook-off event that they were having there, and it was fun. I enjoyed the people I met. And I enjoyed the drive over. There are some beautiful parts through the mountains. A couple times I didn't trust my GPS though. There we are. There's the front of our card. And we'll just do the inside. I've got lots of, surprisingly enough, I have a lot of strips right here. So we could do a couple strips across. I don't like that one. Let's see if I've got something that's a little longer. I like that one. And I know this one is long enough. There we are. That's not my card. Where's the inside of my card? That was our envelope. And I need to remember to be gentle with my Seal Plus. Where is this one? And I still have strips left that I can do another scrappy strip card with. And we'll just put that on because I will decide if I want to stamp something on it when I know who it's going to. Because sometimes I want all that room for writing. Align them in the corner. Or angel them in the corner. Angle them in the corner. I could do that on the inside, but I'm going for easy. Okay, scraps away. Let's bring in our strips of, because I don't want to cover up. Okay, we're doing it this way because this is the way I cut this for. But that looks fine that way too. Where is my white strip? This is what I want to do next. So when I first stamped this, I thought, oh, it just was too much white. So let's go with Early Espresso ink, which really is my go-to neutral whenever I can. Oh, you heard Susie Cute. Yeah. She sees the birds outside. And may I say, if she had the opportunity, she would be out there chasing birds. Because over my sink in the kitchen, I had 2 African violets, an orchid, another plant, and a vase with some dried flowers in it. And I took those down today because she jumped and sat on one of the plants. One of the, it wasn't my orchid. It's probably one of my African violets. And she was just, she wouldn't get down. She was uncooperative. I had dirt all over. Oh, hi, Cindy, you're here. I'm sorry, I missed you earlier. Hi, Jan. Okay, so ink it up, stamp it off a couple of times, and then I stamped it just across the card. It's light enough that thinking of you shows right through it. I actually think I did one high, one low, because then I didn't have to line them up exactly. I'll do this one here up high. Oh, didn't mean to use full strength ink. Anyway, so basically I just made a little mess there, but I'm going to put the bow over there. So that'll be good. Or I could use the other side. Let's use the other side. Because we know cardstock is really special. It has 2 sides. Now, I will remember to stamp off. And actually, I think I might have stamp off twice. I think I skipped on that one. I didn't actually stamp over the thinking of you. There we are. That looks better. Putting this down where I won't put my hand in it. And I believe what I did is I just took off some pieces of my ribbon. Where are my ribbon scissors? There they are. You'd think I could see them with the pretty ribbon on them. And I believe I did 3. Because I thought it could use... Okay, 1, 2... Thought I could use a little bit more than just the single. And I've got my bow jig, which I use all the time. I will be cutting off the ends of the ribbon, but so it goes under, over, and then we have an escapee there. See if I can get that pulled tighter. A little knot. I feel like I'm doing this with the wrong way. The wrong hand trying to push that through. And if it's not cooperating with you, because of all the little kinks, because I didn't unkink it. Just use my scissors and help it through. And here we go. Anyway, I have removed... Hi, Cindy. Oh, not a problem at all. I'm glad you're here. I'll cut those off later. We're going to put this on our sentiment mat. And then we're going to use, I will be cutting off a little bit because just kind of hoping it's close to the middle. I did make the one piece just a little bit long. I just grabbed what was in my scrap bags, to be honest. Then we need some dimensionals. We'll put on 3. I've still got room to tuck my branches, my little leaves in there. We'll put this on the card. And it's going to cross the entire card, including the card base. Might even be a little long. I'll see if I need to trim it. So there's our thinking of you. Nope, that looks good. And we will put on our bow with a glue dot. I'll give you plenty of linen thread to do it. So you can make a triple or a double bow, whatever you want. Or use a different, you can certainly use a different ribbon for your bow. You don't have to use linen thread if you don't want to. On my... Okay, the one thing about gel polish, adhesive sticks to it. And I'm just going to put that sideways and do a little trimming because they really are too long. Even I can tell that. Let's see if I can get them all together. just give them a little haircut. Should have used my ribbon scissors. Would have been easier. So there we are. We have got our 3 little die cut embellishments here. Now, there is no Wink of Stella on this. Have you noticed that? That's just wrong. So I'm thinking, I mean, it's a great card to give to someone who is not really into embellishments, but if there's no sparkle on a card, what is the fun of it? So, little Wink of Stella on the leaves. I think is a great idea. There's those. All right, what did I do with the other 2? They're on the early espresso ink pad. I like this light linen look. I mean, the early espresso that's in it shines through, but it doesn't, it's not an in-your-face. Like this one is really brown. So it's nice to have the light to contrast. Okay. I'm happier now that I've used a little bit of Wink of Stella. Probably going to do them like this. Now there are ways you could put these together. You could just put a bit of tape on them, but I'm going to do them one at a time with glue dots. So we'll put the dark one on first, and it doesn't matter that the glue dot shows because, come here little friend, it's just going to stick down in here. There's one. It does matter if you get the glue dot all the way under though. That's important. What die set are the leaves from? They are from the Thankful Gardens wheat. I really have a mishmash. I mashed it all up. No, are they? Yes, Thankful Garden dies. I also like this sweet. Then the little rope comes from Textured Notes. And the sentiment from Beautiful Motifs, because I'm particularly fond of that Thinking of You. I like the size of it. I like the font they used. Oh, I have a little glue dot up here hiding. We'll put that on and maybe push it down just a little further. This one is going to actually stick to the top. Let's see, here we are. As will this one. Just going to move over just a little bit. And hopefully not be right where the, oh, that one might be. Maybe this one's going underneath, over here. Well, fine. Let's just raise that up so I can push it in. There we are. And it's almost done. We've got, I've got the, since we have a little Wink of Stella, so we've got some bling, I decided we didn't really need the bling for the embellishment. These are the neutral matte dots, which are kind of fun. And I'm just going to put 3 of these on. It would be nicer, and I'm using the beige instead of the, well, I do have a few black left. No, I don't really want black, and I don't want white. Yes, I could color them. So they're subtle. There's our card. A scrappy strip card that was fun to make because of the adhesive sheets. The only thing left to do is we really need a pretty envelope. And I don't really want to do strips. I think I want to do what I normally do. So let's cut some DSP. It really doesn't matter which one we use. But since I like the dark ones so much, let me cut this piece right here. I cut it at 2 3/4 inches. And I cut it going the wrong way because I need 5 and 15, no, I'll have to figure that out. Okay, plan B. We're using this one. Change. We punt. It's 5 and 13/16, I think it is, by 2 3/4 inches. And that way there isn't as much to cut off on the sides. Because I will do this with glue. Here comes the silicone mat again. I do love that this doesn't, see how that fits really well in that spot. So we'll cover the back. First we'll do a little backward fold. And then we will cover it with our plugged up multi-purpose glue. I used it earlier today and I did not cover it back up. Obviously my fault. And just to make it easy, you just push this into the fold, line up your edges, fold it back, and give it a little back rub. If any of it seeps out, I had a couple gloppy spots, you can, and I will, after it dries, take my adhesive eraser and get rid of those little spots. So does anyone have fun things going on in their community? I talked about, we've got the ski to sea race. I always want to say that backwards, but it really does start in the mountain with some skiing. I think there's both cross country and downhill skiing. And then they run they've got the road bike, and then they run quite a long ways. I don't remember how far. It's quite a competition. People come from lots of different places. There's professionals who race, come and enjoy the beauty of the scenery we have here in the Pacific Northwest. And then we have local teams. And for many years, my son-in-law, his family participated in the ski to sea race. They have an entry in the parade, which will be Saturday. Their father put together a train. It's got several train cars, an engine, a caboose. Of course, it's got a regular engine, and so it's running, it drives quite well. And then the family gets together and they do a skit. Now, I don't remember the name. Is it Dudley Do Right? Was that the Mountie in the cartoons? And Snidely Whiplash was the villain. So they have a whole skit they do. So it's always fun. Thank you. I'm glad you like it, Kat. So there we are. There's our card. And now I have another scrappy strip card in my collection. And I can make another one because I still have lots of scrappy strips. Anyway, I am so glad you joined me. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll get those card kits out to you for Cindy. You didn't realize, you didn't hear me say that you get one of the kits. Cindy Walker, Gladys, and Susan Harwood. And I know I've got all your addresses, so I will just get those out in the mail this weekend. Of course, they won't go out till Tuesday, but I'll have them in a mailbox. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for everyone joining me. Thanks, George, for coming and joining. Oh, good, Kat. It was Dudley Do Right. It is a fun skit to watch. All the kids, they dress up and they all play and just have a fun time in the parade. And they've been doing that since the year before his father died. So it's been going on for quite a long time. It's before the kids got married. And Kelsey, their first, is 23, 24. Yeah, I think 24. Anyway, it was such fun. Everybody have fun. And until I see you next week, happy crafting. Bye-bye.